this. We're widescreen now, hey? It's very strange. I'm not in a little box. At least I think it is. It seems wider. I like my audio okay. It seems like a slight delay or something. Might be only like a microsecond or something. I don't think it ultimately matters that much. Right now there's no delays on. It might just be the slight delay coming from the software or something. Well, delay. Fuck. Yeah, there's like no delays on whatsoever. It's I think it's just from the software. Even if I look at it on the software itself, oh, you can see it there. Like you can see they're matched. So like this is what like exactly what I see. Yeah, we got a new webcam for all. But there's like a very slight delay on it, but it's like nothing I can really do anything about it. It's just from the so like right now this is the looking very sharp. Thank you. I need to shave this shit. It looks even worse when it's on a thingy. So I can do just the webcam and not the software. The problem is it's extremely zoomed out. Like see if I do it properties. I don't even think I can because I'm using the software here. I think we'll just have to get used to this little slight delay. Unless, is it that the audio comes first, or is it that my mouth moves first? The audio's first, okay. Any better? This, like this? Hello? Hello? Perfect? Okay. We'll go with that then. You're exhausted? Long day, Farrell, or just a fucking hot day? 0. No, it's at 1 millisecond currently. Alright. I have my can of Coke, I have my full water for all the voice acting that we'll be doing. Mainly difficult day. I feel you there for a little chum, huh? I'm sending you as much energy as I can spare. We'll get through the hour, huh? It's just the day, huh? Yep. Alright, let's so we had the board, the crazy board, fall over. And this guy, why the fuck is it doing this? There we go. He supposedly put his hand in blood, and then he put it on the back of the board, but the board somehow made it back upright. So I need to find out what the fuck has happened. And the board was moved. I don't know anything about that there notice board. I just wiped my hand on it, that's all.
Oh, don't look at me. I haven't got a clue about it. I was doing business with some second years at the time.
I don't know anything about anything. I'm just a bystander, me. It's just a sign of the crossroads of life.
Right, Babu.
It was that Reaper, I bet. He got a face that screams bored.
I can't see how this changes anything anyway. The detective still died when we heard the gunshot.
Alright, can you press the fuck out of them all now and get more info?
So none of you can elaborate further.
Shaken by the crime they witnessed, and with only the light of a few candles and an oil lamp by which to see. We
can't expect these witnesses to be able to give a more precise account of what happened.
That's right, yeah. I don't pay to expect too much.
It's my mind's endless quest for knowledge that's destroying the world. That's what I think.
I meant to go back and see if I could check what Beppo's voice was. The fucking I did not do that.
Really?
In any case, as the testimony shows, even if the notice board was moved by somebody following the incident, it makes no difference. When the gunshot rang out, the accused was the only person at the scene. In short, the only person who could possibly have committed this crime is Barak van Zieks. None of this wrangling over the board changes that simple fact. Quite so, quite so. Does the defense still wish to cross-examine the witnesses despite the circumstances? Of course. Most certainly, my lord. Very well. Then you may proceed, counsel. Let's go. Alright, press the fuck on, let's go. Do you reckon this is in the 0.3%, whatever, for Twitch? He's wiped his hand on it, right? Let's
Hold it!
press up. So you admit that it was the board you wiped your bloody hand on? Admit it? What's to admit? It's there plain as day for all to see. A smashing print of my right hand. It is right handed. What's with his face? It's fucking horrendous. Is what's wrong with his face? I hate his lip. And he's also got like kinky marks on his neck, kind of. Like, you never know someone flicking his lip every time he talks. It's fucking awful, huh? Perhaps you wanted to hide that handprint, so you righted the notice board and pushed it into the corner, did you? No, imagine the weight of that great lump. Do I look like a powerful and well-nurtured man? Well, did you see anybody else moving the board? I've got nerves of steel, I can tell you, but even I have my limits. There was a body on the floor in front of me, and the Grim Reaper himself standing over it. And there was precious little inside either. My bottom lip was all a quiver. It's awful. Yeah, it's terrible. It's like disgusting. In other words, this witness is unable to give definite testimony on that point. Yes, so it would seem. She says, I haven't got a clue about it. I was doing business with some second years at the time. By second years, does she mean like 14-year-old kids?
Hold it!
How old is this woman? When you say doing business with them, you mean you were selling them fireworks?
Yeah, what else?
There's the priory school just round the corner, see? Those cheeky little so-and-sos have got a plan to blow their school to kingdom come. Or does she mean like second year in primary school?
So I've been telling on them, letting their teachers know what they're up to.
That's 7.
I should have fucking snitch.
Oh, you have?
Yeah, wouldn't want anyone to get hurt. So I let the school know the kids are playing with dodgy toys. Then, praise the Lord, the teachers take all the fireworks off them.
What happens then? Does she get them back?
And then, praise the Lord again, the kids all come back to me to buy more. Everyone's happy, see?
I see. What a racket.
Of course, and sometimes the teachers give me a little bonus to thank me for letting them know. It's a busy old life selling explosives.
She's full, like.
Venus is a guileful goddess indeed.
Well, telling barefaced lies is kind of my thing, really. I'm ever so good at it.
Oh, Beppo.
Excuse me!
She's ever so good at telling lies, apparently.
Telling lies, Papa?
Something wrong, Mr. Sandwich. Beppo was responding to everything. He reacted to the gossip as well, the guy.
If I said it was, could we just leave it at that? Would that be the end of it?
No. Did Miss Venus' statement just now bring something to mind, perhaps?
Philosophical thoughts. Deep philosophical thoughts. Let's say there was a great liar, and that great liar said without batting an eye,
Telling barefaced lies is kind of my thing. I'm ever so good at it.
Oh, that's this like thing about the two statues, right? Like one only tells the truth, one only lies type thing. Like, do you believe it or not? You try and figure out which one's lying by only asking like 3 questions or so. I'm always fucking terrible at those. Bet you there'll be one of those in Professor Layton at some stage.
Would those words of hers be a lie too, or the truth? In which case, she's not a liar. Ooh, it's a hellish paradox, that one, don't you think?
I'm not entirely sure, to be honest. But it seems to me you're suggesting Miss Venus has been lying. Are you? Man doesn't want to get fucking blown up. He's looking over at her like, shit.
What are you on about, old man? Trying to cause trouble, are you? Keep on like that. And I'll wrap your whole body in firecrackers and set 'em off. That'll give you something to tremble about.
Huh. You have a startling, disturbing mind behind that sweet and innocent face, young lady.
So Miss Venus has lied in her testimony. Is that what you're saying, Mr. Sandwich? Did he voice Beppo like the Rover Sandwich guy now? That's what he invokes every time I hear Mr. Sandwich. The name's Rover Sandwich.
Well, if it means probably burning in hellfire for the rest of my days, so be it.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. Can you elaborate, please, sir?
Old Blabbermouth here, headed for the room where the gunshot seemed to come from. But there was someone else who crept up the stairs but behind him too. That's right. That rotten liar over there.
So Gossip went in, then she went in too.
Do you mean to say that you did in fact betake yourself to the scene of the crime after all?
What did I tell you, eh? I said I was good at telling barefaced lies, didn't I?
Yes, you mentioned it.
Well, that revelation rocked the whole courtroom, didn't it?
You knew firecrackers packed such a punch.
So you did indeed visit the scene of the crime, did you, young lady? Good grief.
Well, now you come to mention it, I suppose perhaps I do clearly remember climbing the stair to the room, yeah.
Fucker, huh? And you clearly remember or you don't.
Well, I shall consider a fitting punishment for this perjurious act later. For the time being, you will immediately amend your testimony to reflect the truth.
Oh yes, my lord, of course. Maybe I did sneak along behind Gossip and have a little peek into the room where it all happened.
Hold it! Tells more. You make a habit of lying, do you, Miss Venus?
Well, I suppose so. I don't really know, to be fair. If you want my advice, though, I take everything I say with a big pinch of salt.
Alright. But you did in fact go to the room where the victim was killed on the day in question, didn't you?
Oh, please. As if I would. I can't think of anything more terrifying.
The truth, please.
Oh, alright, just a bit then. I mean, a girl my age is curious about stuff, you know.
Did you touch anything at the scene?
Oh, please. As if I would. I mean, there was a dead body on the floor.
The truth, please.
Well, alright, just a bit then. I had a look to see if there was anything I could sell. So I did give the place a once-over, but there was nothing to write home about.
Right. I hesitate to ask, but you didn't move the notice board by any chance, did you?
Oh, please. As if I would touch anything like that. Just a few bits of loose change is all I had.
The truth, please.
Well, alright then. I thought there might be something worth having underneath it. So I blasted the flipping thing. Sorry, flipped the blasted thing.
You're telling us that you did move that board?
I think that did slip out, didn't it?
God.
What? You daft barn pot!
I don't believe it. The girl doesn't think.
So, did you find anything then? Something that you might have taken, perhaps? To sell? Oh, please. I should be so lucky in my imagination.
The truth. Now.
I might have found this old pocket watch under the notice board, I suppose. But a bit of junk like this can't be worth much if you ask. Ha! Gina! It was you, was it? You're the one what took it.
Gina. Young lady, may I remind you where you are?
That watch. That watch there. That was a present to Inspector Gregson from the yard for a big case he solved 10 years ago. Professor case, no doubt. The boss used to wind it up every evening without fail when he was waiting for his grub to come at the pub. Let's see.
Love me wife. Love me kids. Love the pub.
I swiped it off him once and blimey was he upset. He gave me a right earful. Said he hadn't missed a day in the last 10 years polishing it and winding it. It meant the world to him, that watch did. Possibly not the best thing to go diving for then. It's not all that though. I took it to... Is it Jabez or Jabes? Or Jabes? Jabez? What are we saying, huh? Who Jabeses, huh? She gives me like a Jabeses. Jabe. Took to Jabeses that night to ask how much it was worth, but the old dealer wouldn't touch it. Wouldn't give me a penny for it. Said it wasn't working. Knocked about and worthless, he called it. Oh, why wasn't it working then? Ah, I knew I should have lifted it. That watch must be submitted as evidence as once. Oh, please. Just so long as you promise to give it back when we're done. Even if you're a fucking... You're trying it, huh? Not a chance. I'll swipe it from you if you try to get your grubby mitts on it again.
That's enough. Hand the watch to the bailiff forthwith.
Alright, children. Watch your manners.
Good Lord. The glass appears to be broken.
Yeah, I thought maybe they'd get hit by the bullet. But probably cracked when he fell, right? More than likely it shattered when the inspector was shot. It doesn't tick anymore either. Which is why Jibs didn't want it. What a waste, eh?
Yes, indeed. It appears to have stopped at the hour of 5.
Ah, so we can determine the time of death, right? Exactly when the gunshot was heard, then. Which supports the prosecution's claim, of course. Gregson's pocket watch. Inspector Gregson's pocket watch that he wound without fail every single day. It's no longer ticking and the glass over the face is cracked.
Well, it would appear that the mystery of the moving notice board has been solved at least.
Alright, let's get a wee look at the... Yeah, there's no bullet, so it must have broke when he fell. The glass over the face really is badly cracked, look. What a shame when the inspector clearly looked after it so carefully. I imagine Mr. Shobnes could repair it, don't you? Yes, I should think so. He's very adept at things like this. A useful man to have around, in fact. You can't remember that he's a great detective, Mr. Naruhodo, not an odd job, man. There's a tiny little stub sticking out in this small hole here, look. I suppose there must have been a little knob or something on that for setting the time. Yeah, there's easily what's the thing, right? In that case, seeing as we know the inspector took such good care of this watch, it probably broke when the incident occurred, didn't it? Yes, of course. This could mean there's a small part of the watch still at the scene, maybe. Interesting. Oh, the fucking... The little soldier. Right? The little soldier with the wee key. There's a tiny little keyhole here. Can you see? Oh yes, that's probably where the winder used to wind up the mechanism. Looks a little unusual, don't you think? Yes, you need just the right key to wind it, I imagine. Why do I feel as though I've seen something? Something a bit like a key that's about the right size to fit in this hole. It'd be wonderful if we had the key. Let's check carefully about what we've already found. Where is the soldier? The policeman, sorry, not the soldier. Right. There's our key. Ah, what's that? It appears to be some sort of key. But it's tiny though, it couldn't be a key for a door. Not at that size. So what is it for, I wonder? Mr. Sato, do you think perhaps this key could be the key for Inspector Gregson's watch?
Let's go.
Yes, it could be. Let's try it at once. There's not a moment to lose. Oh, here we go. Oh, she's working again. I knew you had a perfect fit. And look, the inspector's watch has started going again. Ah, so it has obviously just not been wound up, that's all. What is it, Mr. Sato? Well, if the watch isn't actually broken after all, I have a feeling it could have profound implications. Deep in thought now. Perhaps I better start thinking deeply too. So it just means he didn't wind it that day, right? Is that... So it's not actually broke, he just didn't wind it. I don't know. Interesting, okay. And as predicted, it has very little bearing on the case. Ugh.
Now then, continue with your cross-examination, please, counsel.
Examining them about the board. It just says I'm a bystander, a sign at the crossroads of life. Alright, Mr. Sandwich.
Hold it!
But you did go to see what had happened in the room, didn't you? Fresno Street is my whole world. It's all I know, and I know all of it. I have to make it my business to know if I want to hold my sign up high. So you did go to see what had happened. It's not the destination that's important, it's how you get there, isn't it? Did you notice the notice board in the room? If you think about it, we're both the same species, aren't we? Both different members of the sign family. So if I spotted it, I might have tried to trip it up out of a sense of rivalry, I admit. Someone really needs to tell you that you're Homo sapien, not Homo sinians. Does that mean you didn't notice the board? I can only repeat what I said before. I don't know anything about anything. I'm just a bystander, me. Just a sign at the crossroads of life.
In which case, just who was responsible for moving the notice board?
We know it was fucking Venus. Well, Venus flipped it, right? You with that Reaper, I bet. You got a face that screams bored.
Hold it!
Press no, anyway. What exactly do you mean by that? Oh, come on now. Don't tell us you've not noticed. He looks like he hates everything in the world, that fella. Not notice boards. They're the one thing he likes. You can see it in his eyes. Can't say I'd ever noticed. I'll tell you one thing for free, though. I never took my eyes off that man on the floor, or off the Reaper, not for a second. Sorry? Well, I was that scared I couldn't. You never know what a fiend like that might do if you look away, do you? If you didn't take your eyes off the defendant, you should be able to confirm categorically whether or not he was the one who moved the notice board. Aye, that I can. The Reaper did nothing of the sort. I can swear to that. I couldn't have missed it if he'd heaved the thing upright again and dragged it into the corner. Right. Glad we cleared that up. What happened to the face that screams bored? I feel you're paying Kazuma. Fucking incompetent witness this time. And then Mr. Sandwich says, I can't see how this changed anything anyway. The detective still died when we heard the gunshot.
Hold it!
It was 5 o'clock in the afternoon that you all heard the loud bang, wasn't it?
maybe the notice board fell over, or maybe it didn't. Maybe I fell over, or maybe I didn't. But the Reaper's fate is sealed either way because of that gunshot we all heard. So your fate's sealed too.
My fate?
That's right. The defense is fated to lose, and the prosecution to win.
In other words, it all hinges on that single gunshot. So if I could just find some problem with that part of their story,
it may be possible to change all our fates. Of course, none of that changes the fact that I heard what I heard, does it?
Not much to go on.
As you pointed out, Mr. Naruhodo, there's no question that the notice board was moved, so somebody must have done it.
But it did happen after the event, so maybe Kazuma's right, and it's not relevant to the case.
But it seems to have been deliberately positioned so as to hide the body from view. So I feel sure that there's some significance to all this.
Yes, I know what you mean.
I've no doubt there are more clues to be uncovered. You're on the right track. I can feel it. So follow your instincts.
Alright then. We need to press Venus again.
So if we look at the pocket watch, what does it say now?
We have a time fixed on it. Okay, it's fixed at 5 o'clock. Okay. So that means... Okay. Yeah, it hasn't been wound.
What did it say for this part again?
Oh, so they think there's a bit missing from the top, but we know the winding mechanism is actually in the base with the policeman figure. Bum, 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 ba-da-dum, bum, bum, bum. Okay. The detective still died when we heard the gunshot, right? Can we present the pocket watch that wasn't broken?
Objection!
There we go, yeah. I'm afraid that's not necessarily the case.
Oh.
At the scene, we find this key to the winder of the inspector's pocket watch. A key. And having wound the pocket watch, we discover that it in fact still works. You see, the watch didn't stop because it was broken at all. And that fact completely undermines one of the most fundamental premises on which this entire case has been built. What?
Order, order, order. But counsel, the watch was stopped at almost exactly 5 o'clock.
Yeah, which is just when we heard that gunshot. It is exactly the hour. The time that was showing on the watch tells us nothing other than when it wound down. Yeah, when it ended. You need to wind it again. It's merely a coincidence that it happened to be at 5 o'clock.
Objection!
Even if that's true, the 3 witnesses here all heard the gunshot at 5 o'clock. So that's obviously when this crime was committed.
Objection!
No, that doesn't hold. Why not? Recall what Inspector Lestrade said only moments ago. That he wind it every day, right? The boss used to wind it up every evening without fail when he was waiting for his grub to come at the pub. He said he hadn't missed a day in the last 10 years, polishing it and winding it. It meant the world to him, that watch did. The victim was in the habit of winding his watch once a day, in the evening. We can reasonably assume, therefore, that he wound the timepiece on the evening before he died as well. Yes, that'll be entirely reasonable. But if that's the case, you wouldn't expect the watch to have completely wound down by 5 o'clock the following day. It's true. To be fair, I don't know how long a wind of a pocket watch lasts. Clown car. Still fucked, is it? Oh, aye. Well, how do you explain it then? In summary, the evening before the day of the incident, when the gunshot rang out in that room, the inspector was already unable to wind his watch. You can't mean... Yeah, Gregson was already dead, right? What would stop a man winding his watch if he's been in the habit of winding it every single evening for 10 years? The obvious answer is that he was already dead. Yeah. Poor Gregson, man. Order, order! Counsel, that is the most extraordinary claim.
Objection!
Extraordinary isn't the word, it's absurd. You claim he was already dead the night before. You really think the Scotland Yard's coroner would have overlooked something like that? On that subject, there is something rather surprising. There's actually an omission in the coroner's report. That's right, there's no fucking time of death. I thought that was a bug. Right? The time of death is blank. Where is it? Yeah, the time of death is empty. I thought that was a mistake. The time of death is not noted. That's right. Wait a minute. You're forgetting my legs went under me when I kicked the door in. What do you mean? Like I said, I planted my hand in a dirty grey puddle of blood. Yes. So the victim's blood hadn't dried. It was fresh. Could have been anything, really. He catches on fast, doesn't he?
Objection!
But that blood could be explained in any number of ways. It could have been put there afterwards. Some fresh blood could have been poured over the victim's body after he... Does my learned friend think that fresh blood is available in every street corner? Don't say learned friend. I make me think of Van Zeeks. That. Well, it needn't necessarily have been human blood, of course. Like pig blood or something like that. We've been told previously that Scotland Yard has no way to identify blood as human. Right. The problem is currently being researched. At present, you are correct. It is beyond our abilities. So then, chicken blood could have been used, for example. It's certainly a possibility that it wasn't the inspector's blood at all.
Objection!
But the gunshot was heard at 5 o'clock in the afternoon. That's beyond question. That was the fucking... It was the fireworks, right? Is it, though? That explains why the gun that was found at the scene was cold, because it never fired. He was killed the previous day. Or he'd been dead for at least a day. What? Given that the time of death of the victim has already been called into question, it isn't beyond the realms of possibility that what these witnesses heard wasn't a gunshot at all. Oh please, what are you trying to say? Ocelot know what we heard, and it was a loud bang that came from that there room. Now will you listen to me? A street seller's ears are his little livelihood. There's his, when he was the carriage driver. I don't doubt your ears, sir, but all you can state with certainty is that you heard a noise. Hey? Explain yourself then, counsel. A noise that sounds like a gunshot. Could have been made with the firecrackers.
Take that!
Something like this. The culprit could have set up one of these to fake a gunshot. Good gracious, the very fireworks that are sold by the witness. Now hold on a minute, are you saying I did it? My pretty little firecrackers only make a little pop anyway. See? Not when you let off fucking 10 of them or whatever, right? Not 100 of them together. The Venus Special that you sell for 600 pennies sounds like this. Jesus. As the court can now attest, it sounds very much like a gunshot in fact. You're trying to suggest that somebody set one of those fireworks off at the scene? I'm suggesting that somebody knew the defendant was in the room at 5 that day, and sought to implicate him by creating a sound like a gunshot for these peddlers on Fresno Street to hear.
Objection!
Some kind of frame, Van Zieks. But even the accused himself has testified that he saw no one else in the room at the time. Whether it was a gun or firecracker, the only person present to cause that bang was Barak Van Zieks. Did they throw it through the window? Is that why the window was cracked?
One whiff of a match and my firecrackers go pop.
See? It's why people like them. I fear for your fingers, young lady.
Objection!
Recently, during my time here in Britain, I've learned of a very useful invention indeed. Something called a time bomb. That's right, with the clockwork lad, right? Enoch Drebber. Good heavens, a bomb? Yeah, it's a device that allows you to blow up whatever you like, whenever you like. Mr. Naruhodo, I worry that your unfortunate phrasing there may lead to yet another international incident. No, wait. It's the whenever you like part that's important. A timed device. Yes, exactly. A timed device. Something of that nature could have been planted at the scene. A device that was able to produce the sound of a gunshot long after the culprit had left. Just put a fucking longer, fuse on it. Your extravagant claim will have to be substantiated with evidence, counsel. What proof do you have to suggest in any way that a timed device was employed to create the gunshot sound? Oh. I'll come back in. What evidence do I have to suggest that a timed device was employed to create the gunshot? The burning candles, maybe? Right, the fact that the candles had, burnt down a bit. So we know time had passed, maybe?
Take that!
As the court has already discussed, the tip of one of the candles in this candelabrum has been blown off. Indeed, because it was struck by the bullet, which presumably passed through the victim. I don't think that's possible, my lord. Not possible? Why? Because of the scorching. Yeah. There are gunpowder scorch marks clearly visible on the broken candle. Which means that they had to point blank fire at it, right? So the bullet didn't pass through him, they just shot the candle. There's also scorching on the victim around the bullet entry wound. That's right, there was. But as we heard earlier, scorching like that only occurs when the target is at very close range, a matter of centimeters from the gun. Ah! Which means the scorching on the candle can't possibly be the result of a gunshot. Wait up. I'm guessing it came from the fireworks. The idea of someone going up and I thought it was someone was staging the candle. You know, they blew off the candle top. How can that be, eh? The fact that there's such visible scorching on the candle suggests that the fireworks, all they've been, but say they're near the, which lines up with the window idea, right? They came in the window, the candelabrum was right there, and they blew up right next to the candle. Or they were hanging near the candle or something. Or to put it another way, the candle and firecrackers were joined together. Yeah, there we go. So is it when the candles get to a certain time, it sets it off or something? The culprit somehow attached the firecrackers at a point partway down the candle. Yeah, there you go. After the killer had left the scene. The candle slowly burnt down along with the other two, until eventually it ignited the fuse of the firecrackers, generating a loud... And that is how these three witnesses came to believe they'd heard a gunshot at 5 o'clock.
plot. This implies that the victim could have died earlier than we've been led to believe. The previous day, even. Now. Now just hold your horses. All of us here, us lot here, saw the victim going into the building, remember? That's right, they did claim that, I couldn't forget that flame-colored hair even if I wanted to. So that was presumably then another member of the red-haired group or whatever, right? Interesting. The person you saw entering the building wasn't the victim at all. Consider this. Ah! Obviously, anybody can wear a wig. So the person that the witnesses saw entering the building 15 minutes before the incident occurred could easily have been someone else entirely, wearing the red hairpiece. Someone else? Do you mean to say the person who planted the firecracker, maybe? He was the same person who contrived the firecracker trick. In other words, Inspector Gregson's killer. Oh, very impressive, Rinosuke Naruhodo. Kazuma? I'm really quite amazed you've come this far. But after all, wasn't I the one who told you you had all the makings of a great defense lawyer? I also noted the lack of time of death in this report. A stark omission. But as far as I'm concerned, this whole country's justice system leaves a lot to be desired. Yeah, it's sad, isn't it? I don't know who would want Gregson dead. I mean, he's a. It's probably something to do with the professor case, right? It's all around that. Order, order, order! Prosecutor Asogi. Like, it's been like across both games, the professor case. So. What on earth do you mean by that statement? I heard that many of the leading members of Britain's judiciary are present to observe the trial today, so we cannot allow even the slightest doubt to be overlooked. The defense's assertion about the time of death based on the victim's stopwatch is just conjecture. But, while the possibility exists that my learned friend may be correct, we have a duty to explore it. Well, certainly, I would agree with you. And what immediately comes to mind is, of course, what was Inspector Gregson doing, and where did he go on the day before the incident? Do you know? The inspector always carried out his investigative work alone. His movements were treated as confidential within Scotland Yard. Even within the yard? However, considering the evidence we've been presented with so far, I'd say it's fairly apparent what case the man was pursuing. Wouldn't you, my learned friend? I do have a feeling about what case he might have been investigating. Yes, I agree. Surely. My lord, the defense believes it can explain to the court the case that was being investigated by Inspector Gregson at the time of his death. Very well, counsel. Present your argument to the court. What evidence is suggestive of the case being investigated by the inspector on the day prior to the incident? Is he looking into the victims of the Bailey? Right, yeah.
Take that!
The Reaper victims, right? I can't say I find your answer suggestive. Oh, shit, we're wrong. Other than perhaps it is utterly wrong. That much you've clarified most expertly. What? Congratulations, Rinosuke Naruhodo. You deserve a reward for that expert display. Shit! Oh, fuck. To be fair, that was my immediate guess. Let me see. One particular piece of evidence. Oh, he was investigating the red-haired people, right? Not the Reaper. That's right. The red-haired group, whatever, right? That's why he had the wig, right? It would be the hair piece, right? Not the paper, because the paper was from, we got the paper at the start. So it's the hair piece itself is the evidence.
Take that!
I believe this red hair piece points to the answer. We might assume it was part of a disguise used to carry out an undercover investigation. Surely not. Such a brightly coloured hairpiece would only serve to make the inspector more noticeable. Yes, that's quite true. It would definitely have made him stand out in a crowd. Except, that is, in a crowd of gentlemen from the Red-Headed League. The Red-Headed League? So, he'd already worked it out. What on earth is all this about? Is there such an extraordinary league of gentlemen? The Red-Headed League is currently under investigation for a grand deception. A deception of what nature, Council? They've been targeting red-headed men across all of London and tricking them out of small sums of money. 2 men were arrested for the misdemeanor only yesterday, in fact. My lord, the defense called for those 2 men to be summoned at once. That's the 2 boys from the start that were in Sholmes' room.
2 redheads?
I was wondering when they would come back. Inspector Gregson clearly infiltrated the Red-Headed League using this hairpiece. It was very likely that he had direct contact with these criminals. And it's quite possible that such contact led to more serious events.
I concur that we cannot in good conscience leave this new avenue unexplored.
Well done, Mr. Naruhodo. Well, it's another possible line of inquiry for us at least. The prosecution will make immediate arrangements for the charged men to appear. Bring these 2 Red-Headed League conspirators before me, Prosecutor Asugi. At once, my lord.
Very good. We will have a 30-minute recess. Court is adjourned.
Alright. Let's go talk to Van Zieks.
To be continued.
Bum, 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 bum. 2nd November, 12:33 p.m. The Old Bailey courtroom. Oh, there you are, Odo. The squad is here, huh? What kept you, my dear fellow? Hello, Mr. Sholmes. Gina. You're sure about what you said in there? That the boss, you know, actually died the day before? It's pretty hard to swallow. I was shocked by the revelation too, Gina. As was I, possibly more shocked than both of you. It's not a competition, Mr. Sholmes. I was more shocked than all of you put together. This is the autopsy report in question, is it? Yes, it's strange there's no time of death noted. I suppose there's a simple explanation, or perhaps it was a deliberate omission. Oh dear, if it was deliberate, it puts me in mind of the last case we worked on, and Dr. Scythe. I know. Anyway, it seems that on the day before Lord Van Zieks discovered his body, Inspector Gregson was investigating the Red-Headed League. So perhaps something happened with them. Come to think of it. You had trouble with those League men too, didn't you, Mr. Sholmes? You were taken in by their trick. No. Naturally, I wasn't taken in as you put it. My sleuth-hound interest was merely piqued slightly by the rare scent of a weekly £4 income. That's right, he wanted the rent money. And that scent masked the underlying scent of deception, I suppose. The 2 criminals in question are the pair we saw being arrested yesterday, aren't they? In Mr. Sholmes' suite, I mean. That's right, Suze. And it was me what took him in. Thanks to a tip-off by a good law-abiding citizen. Indeed, yours truly. There's going to be that pair in the witness stand next, is it? Something doesn't quite make sense to me, though. The day before Inspector Gregson was found, you hadn't had trouble with the Red-Headed League yet, had you? Why would the inspector have been investigating them? Well, the likely explanation would be that Gregson's own sleuth-hound interest was piqued by the rare scent of a weekly £4 income. I don't think that's it. Don't tar him with the same brush as you, Sholmes. Yes, well... Then there's the whole issue of Inspector Gregson being investigated by Lord Van Zieks for some reason. The Reaper, the Red-Headed League, Inspector Gregson, Lord Van Zieks, Kazuma. I
I feel as though he knew we'd arrive at this point somehow.
Gosh, I think you're right.
What's he really trying to achieve here today? All the answers will soon be revealed. Observe the time, my dear fellow. This recess will be over very shortly. Yes, you're right. Back in we go. Kazuma was determined that he should be the one to prosecute this trial. And he was determined that I should take the defense. What is it that he's hoping to make me see, I wonder? Yeah, Kazuma was like, I want you to be there at the end, right? I get the feeling we're a long way from the end of this trial yet. Are you ready then, Mr. Sato? Yes. Let's go. Didn't speak to Van Zeeks once, huh? 2nd November, 1 p.m. Old Bailey Courtroom. Maybe we weren't allowed to speak to him or something, I don't know. In the name of Her Majesty the Queen, I hereby declare this court to be in session again. To resume the closed court hearing of Barak Van Zeeks, here present, who stands accused of murder. Now then, Prosecutor Asugi. My lord. Have you summoned the witnesses as requested? Yes, the 2 members of the Red-Headed League who planned and carried out the deception. They arrived not long ago from the local prison by police carriage. Very good. Bailiff, usher the 2 men into the courtroom. These 2 men are currently being held by the police on suspicion of attempted extortion. You may omit your occupations, but state your names now for the court. I am Fabien de Rousseau, a descendant of the great de Rousseau family from Nice, in France. My name is Peppino de Rossi. I am the 3rd son of the great Familia de Rossi, the landlord from Napoli. The 2 men first became acquainted at a boarding school for European nobility. Those who graduated from Temsig are the future leaders of Europe. But, do you have any idea how boring it is to be born with noble blood? Alors, I make it my mission. Doesn't Widowmaker say that? Alors, something like that. I make it my mission to get the better of the world by employing the little grey cells of my brain. That is all I am trying to do, huh? So, that's the only reason for this whole grand deception you've been carrying out? Oui? You can say that. Wahoo! Not bad, eh? He has a grand idea, but pretty plans. A strange combination, the charm of the hilarious brothers. Wahoo! See, capo. Listen to me, Peppino. I have 2 things to say to you. Hey, Jay, you want to tell me one of your grand anecdotes? Evviva! Firstly, I want you to stop calling me this capo. And secondly, we are not the hilarious brothers. This is serious business. Gemello! There it is! The capo's trump card. The furrow of the brow. It is deeper, capo. The furrow and the meaning of your words. The court has been led to believe that under the banner of the Red-Headed League, you have conspired to swindle money from unsuspecting members of the public. Is that true? Oui? C'est ça? What exactly was the nature of this deception by which you planned to defraud? Alors, I will explain it. No, capo.
Leave it to me. As you see, we both have the vivid red hair, no? At school, we were teased for this without a pity. The capo here, he was many times behind the schoolhouse, crying like a Trevi fountain. Those dogs! One day the world will respect us redheads. Every night he would bury his head in his pillow and weep for the injustice. C'est bien, Peppino, enough. I will explain the rest. The first step was the newspaper advertisement. About 1 week before the plan was put into operation, we listened to the same notice in every paper in London. Yes, we saw that notice. It was this one, I believe, entitled "To the Red-Headed League." Oui, c'est ça. I am honored that you have seen it. The team that dubbed this, or that translated it, got a lot of... I think they did like an interview or something when it came out, but the dub team had a very fun time translating this, and they did a very good job, I think. It states that the only condition for joining the league is having flame-coloured hair, and that if you satisfy the interview panel and are admitted into the league, you could receive a weekly income of £4. And they specified red-headed hopefuls gathered in droves at a park specified in the advertisement. And from each person present, this pair took an application fee of 5 shillings. And with the money, to France. It was a plan most elegant, no? No, it was most dishonourable. But to be frank, I'm stunned anybody was foolish enough to be taken in by such an obvious trick. The park was described by one witness as choked with red-headed folk, like a coaster's orange barrow, or coster's orange barrow. And the day in which all these men gathered was to apply was the day before the victim was discovered. Crucially, these two men spoke face to face with every single person present that day. Oui, I have seen more red-headed people in one day than I will see in the rest of my life. See, see, wahoo! And now, every time I see the capo's hair, I feel sick to my stomach. Anyway, why have you been summoned here today? Sorry? Today for our trial, not until tomorrow, I was told. Naturally, neither of these men have been told any details about this trial. They've only been shown this photograph. Very good. Oh, Mr. DeRusso and Mr. DeRossi. I love how their names are basically the same as well. You will now give your formal testimony for the court on the subject of the gentleman pictured in this photograph. Of course, we are always ready to help with the law. The right time. The man in the photograph. We had more than 1,000 red-headed people assembled in the park on Lime Square that day. But I don't recall the man in the photograph. Hey, Capo. No, I don't remember him. Obviously, he is dead now, but I assure you, he was not in the park. Allora, the victim has nothing to do with us. Even does the fucking Mario jump too. You have a lot to answer for, Peppino. It's your fault that we got caught in the first place. You've given sworn testimony that this man in the photograph was not present. Can you be certain? Oui, I am quite certain. We did not interview this man. Nobody looking like that came to the park. This I can promise. Wahoo! It must be noted that you've been arrested for a grand deception, however. Accordingly, this court had little confidence in your assurances. Uffa, with his attitude, he get to nowhere, huh? He's really sulking now. This confidential document was obtained direct from Scotland Yard. It records an entry from the inspector's private diary dated the day before the incident. It reads, Lime Street, Red-Headed League, undercover. Ah, I have the answer. Maybe there was another, similar event in the park on the day in question, eh? That is ridiculous.
No question that Inspector Gregson was investigating the Red-Headed League. Which means it's quite possible that's when he was killed. Interesting. Very well, the defense may proceed with the cross-examination now. Yes, my lord. Alright. Let's squeeze these boys, huh? Okay. So they had more than 1,000 red-headed people in the park on Lime Street. Alright.
Hold it!
Press everything, get as much information as we can. 1,000 people? That's a very big crowd. It was quite a spectacle. Redheads had come from all over the capital. See, the capo here is the magnetismo animale, eh? Nobody else could attract so many people. If I could be born again, I would be the capo. All those people wanted was the money, Peppino. The £4 per week. Are you suggesting that you spoke personally with all 1,000 applicants? Oui, that we did. Because every one of them paid us 5 shillings. We taken their names, and we taken their money. And we taken their addresses as well. Oh god. Well, they knew where Gregson was staying, presumably. Then I tell them we take some days to let them know about post. E finito. Maybe 2 minutes a person. We start early in the morning and we stop late in the night. So, you earn 5,000 shillings in one day? That's a small fortune. Which is 5,000 shillings, like... 5k shillings in 2023. Calculate modern prices of historic. These converters are so fucking hard. I'm fucking I give up. It's a lot anyway, obviously. Who'd have thought there were 1,000 such gullible redheads in London to start with? One of them was a great detective with chemically altered hair. Man was desperate for money, eh? But he doesn't recall the man in the photograph, okay?
Hold it!
He doesn't look at all familiar. No, I don't think so. This is the wig, eh? He was trying to trick us. We do not like the people who are trying to trick the other people. Says the con artist. If between them they interviewed 1,000 people with red hair, it would be unreasonable to expect them to remember every face. No, signore. I may be small. My memory is very large. I never forget a thing. In my opinion, I do not think this man was in the park. I'm not going to give the court a definite, it seems. Hey, Capo, you didn't see a man like this, huh? He doesn't remember him, and obviously he's dead, but I assure you he was not in the park.
Hold it!
According to what you've said, we spoke with 1,000 or more people that day. Oui, that's true. My eyes were burning by the end of the day. Surely then you can't actually remember every single face. How are you so certain? Do you reckon they'd remember Sholmes' face? Or I don't know if Sholmes was successful, but they would probably have spoken to him at least. Sure this particular man wasn't present? Normally the red hair is very distinctive, eh? But not when you have 1,000 redheads crowding around. Then it's just an eyesore. If there was some other information you're going to give us, maybe then we would recall. That is not the line, Peppino. Remember, we do not remember him. We are sure of that fact, huh? Uh-oh. Shut up, Peppino, huh? Shut the fuck up. You're blowing it. If there was a man with a red hairpiece, but his mustache did not match the color, then I do not think I could have forgotten him. Kazuma said these two had only been shown that photograph and they'd been told nothing else at all. But what if I found them just one other detail about the victim? For example, his fish and chips. There we go. I can certainly appreciate that just knowing the man had red hair wouldn't help you remembering the situation. What if I told you that the man was always munching on a packet of fish and chips? Do you remember a man who was eating incessantly?
Not really. I was looking only at the ads for the applicants. I wouldn't have noticed the fish and chips anymore into caviar and smoked salmon.
It would fucking stink though, like you fucking didn't notice that time.
The spaghetti! Me, I love the spaghetti!
Really? I had no idea.
Tell them again what you said, Peppino. Si, capo, si. I said it again and again. Wahoo! Allora, the victim has nothing to do with us.
Hold it!
They are denying all involvement then. But we only have your word for that.
Si, but what else can we do, huh?
True.
Oh, fuck. We're not having much fun these days. First we are arrested, then we're shown the horrible picture of a dead man. And now you question every single thing we say. We are the victims here. Hey, Capo.
Oh, you were caught carrying out a plot to swindle hundreds of innocent people. If we didn't already have an Irish character in Magnus McGilded, I would have said this was the Irish character because he basically dressed like a leprechaun.
You had to bring that up, eh? It's not fair. Hey, Capo.
Capo's like boss, isn't it? Alright, so apparently it's because of Peppino they got caught in the first place.
Hold it!
Why do I feel like I remember Capo being said in some other piece of media? Yeah, it's Italian for boss. Yeah, but what have I heard it in recently as well, or like a game or a show or something? Hey, Capo, something like that. I don't know. We could type in Capo in popular culture. Nah, fuck, I wouldn't know. Alright. What do you mean by that?
Cavolo! You promised not to say. Hey, Capo. After we had taken all the monies that day, we should have left the country.
That was my plan. He wanted to go back to France.
I left the purchasing of the tickets for the ferry to Dunkirk, Dunkirk to my companion here. But he bought them for the wrong day.
Oops.
See, but it's an easy mistake to make, huh? The 31st. Oh, I have no sympathy for you. We were all day late for the boat because of your stupidity. It's only because of this that so-called great red-headed detective caught us. Capo, you know what I think? This is the work of God. It's a holy punishment, eh?
Oh, fucking divine wrath. I got them. Uh-oh.
Peppino, for the last time. This is not holy punishment. This is only your fault. Ah! Don't blame God for your unholy mistakes. You are making me sick with anger. Maybe I make a mistake. When is it time to eat the pasta? No one is a faster.
Fucking guy. And I've seen the evidence. They haven't told us much we didn't already know. What do you think, Mr. Naruhodo? Well, if it was in the inspector's diary, it seemed likely that he must have gone to Lime Street that day. And yet, these two both claim they didn't see him. I have to say, they don't appear to be telling lies. Well, they are experts in deception, don't forget. Sounding plausible is their specialty. They may be lying simply to avoid being implicated in this case as well. Surely if they were truly experts in deception, they wouldn't have been caught. Well, yes, you do have a point there. It seems to me like we need more information.
Definitely.
What was the other thing we could have brought up about Gregson? It was his fish and chips, his profession, and something else, wasn't there? See, I don't know if he was wearing his, like if it was obvious he was a cop. I assume it probably wasn't.
Hold it!
No worries, Phil. Have a good night. See you later on. Thanks for hanging out. Alright, we're gonna see if we can talk about another part of Gregson's appearance. His name? His name is profession.
wouldn't have. I don't think they would have known he was a cop. He presumably was undercover. Bum 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 bum. Bum 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 bum. Bum 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 bum. Bum 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 bum. Sorry, one sec. Maybe his name? I can certainly appreciate just knowing the man with red hair wouldn't help you remember in this situation. What if I told you the man's name was Gregson? The man in the photograph is a Monsieur Gregson? Yes. Names, they are boring. I did not listen to any of them. Oh. It was not a real interview, huh? It was just for a show. Why would I remember the names? That's right. This changes nothing. The man in the photograph was not there, as we have already said. I see. It seems there little to be gained from pursuing this point further. Tell him again what you said before, Peppino. Si, Capo, si. Why would they know his profession? Wahoo!
Hold it!
I don't know, like, surely Gregson was undercover? Unless they could recognize that he was a cop, you know. I can certainly appreciate not knowing the man with red hair would have to remember the situation. But what if I told you the man in the red hair piece was actually a detective? Is the man in the photograph a detective? Yes. It would appear he found your notice in the paper suspicious and decided to investigate incognito. That's got them going. Sorry, but this changes nothing. Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
Excuse me!
Something to add, Mr. De Rossi? See, I'm always adding something. Parmesan, olive oil, pepper. What I mean is, did you not agree with your friend's last remark by any chance? Hey, what did he just say? About the detective? Yes, that. Keep your mouth shut, Peppino. You've said enough already. But why, Capo? What is the problem? There was a man who said, I am an inspector from Scotland Yard. Oh, he fucking just said it? I thought Gregson would have kept himself, discreet. What? Good lord. I love the little boxes they're standing on. You change sizing correctly. Nice. Order, order, order. Explain this volte face in your testimony, witness. It's simple. A man who was at the park said to us that he was an inspector. There was no such man. Madai, what are you saying, Capo? Have you forgotten, eh? I have forgotten nothing. Nobody likes this game to the park. Basta, Capo, basta.
You beat me at many things, but two, the memory and the meals. Like I said, when it's time to eat as a faster, no one is a faster. But you are inferior to me in every other way, so shut up.
Objection!
Useful.
Top time. The damage is done. Indeed it is, sir.
Oui. There was a man who came to the park and he said he was an inspector from Scotland Yard. However, he looked nothing like the man in the photograph. He was someone else. How can you be so sure? Because, to start with, his face was completely different. See, it's true. The man who came was a younger. His face was a clean shaven. His eyes were sadder. His chin was a thinner. No resemblance whatsoever then. Anyway, I was not going to be fooled. I took the obvious precaution and said to him, if you are really a detective, show us the proof. See, the capo here, he doesn't take a no-nonsense, eh? But he was well prepared. He said he had identification. Identification? You mean official police inspector's identification? That is most unconvincing. Sorry, my lord? Counsel, no incognito inspector would offer his identification for inspection. It's quite out of the question. Definitely. Why would he expose his true identity? Clearly the papers were fake. Certo capo, you're a genius. As we say in Natalia, it takes a thief to recognize another, eh? What happened after he announced that he was a detective? He became very annoying. He said, you're under investigation. I took his papers from him and chased him out of the park. It was fantastico. And look, here he is at the identification. So he stole it from the man. He had it coming. He made us very scared. But he was not who he said he was. Let us see it. Indeed, this person described does not appear to have behaved as a true inspector would. However, I believe it would be prudent for these identification papers to be entered into evidence. But I like them. The identification of a man claiming to be a detective inspector confiscated by Mr. DeRossi and Mr. DeRossi. Ready to have a look at it? Now, let's return to the witness's testimony. Alright, who is this about? Right, open her up. Well, I suppose we should see what this inspector's identification looks like inside. That's no fucking pictures, say? Bastard. Yes, it definitely looks fake, doesn't it? Out of interest, what name is given? Probably just something plucked out of the air. It's Tobias Gregson. Wait, what? This Scotland Yard insignia looks genuine to me. But how? And the department identification number details are all correct as well. Since when have you known those? You mean to say, I know it seems incredible, but yes, I think this is a genuine identification book issued by Scotland Yard. That's unbelievable. This is the real thing after all? Oh shit. Inspector Gregson's police identification is the official warrant card issued to him by Scotland Yard. Huh. Interesting. Okay, so he said that he was not in the park, but we have his official documentation that he gave over, so he clearly was.
Objection!
I wonder if I could ask you to examine this identification book very closely. Miss Lestrade. Why Miss Lestrade? What is your intention here, counsel? Is this really a fake, or is it genuine? That's the question, which we can't answer ourselves.
Objection!
Don't be ridiculous. No Scotland Yard detective would allow his or her identification to be stolen. There comes Gina. That is the boss's. No question about it.
can't be.
As I suspected, the undercover detective who attended the Red-Headed League's enrollment on the day in question was the real Inspector Gregson, carrying out an incognito investigation.
To the law.
Order! Order! But if the boss had his identification stolen, he would have reported it straight away. I mean, he was always on me about it. If he used something, report it at once, he'd say. Could it be then that the inspector was physically unable to report it? Physically? Eh? What are you saying? Able to? You're not suggesting. Yes, it's quite possible that he was killed before he had a chance to report his identification stolen.
No.
Order, order, order! The defense posits that the victim was killed the day before his body was discovered at a different location. Do you two have anything to say about that?
I know nothing. I don't know nothing.
Pull yourself together, Peppino. Mon Dieu, you can behave a little more like a master criminal than that, mon? No?
I wish I had returned to Italia.
You're undercover as a policeman. Well, yes, he showed them as he showed them as a thing, probably just. But yeah, he didn't. I'm surprised he like revealed himself. Stop crying, Peppino, please.
Otherwise, I.
And there's me.
I may stop your whining and start talking.
Well, I believe the court will need to hear your story in considerably greater detail.
I know nothing. I don't know nothing.
But you will tell everything, or face the worst possible outcome. You will dry your eyes and testify again about these identification papers and the precise circumstances under which you came by them. Crying out loud. These here are funny. I like them. The detective and the identification. Okay, I think we'll call it there. Give you a good time to go, Noodle. I'll go get a shower, get shaved, I think. Tonight. I think next week is fine with streams. I don't think I'm missing anything, so we'll have 2 Ace Attorney streams next week. Tomorrow we'll continue some dredge. Back to some fishing. Should be good. Looking forward to it. Dredge for 2 days, and then I'll do some Horizon at the weekend. Should be good. So, thanks for watching. That's the end of Ace Attorney for the week. But it was good. Nice. Back 2 full streams at it. Full streams. About an hour and a half today. Dredge is very good so far. I'm really liking it. Yeah. Alright, thanks for watching, everyone. Enjoy the rest of your evening. Back tomorrow for Dredge. Bye-bye. Oh, we can do this now. Woo.